Uncovering the financial web that supported the Nazis. The history of powerful figures, such as Julius Caesar and Adolf Hitler, often overlooks the crucial question: who funds the grand projects of these leaders? In particular, the Roman Empire and Nazi Germany, despite appearing as self-sustaining military machines, were funded by powerful financial backers whose names are seldom mentioned in mainstream historical accounts. This oversight extends to the enormous military forces that both empires built, which required vast financial resources for weapons, equipment, and infrastructure. This analysis seeks to explore how such powerful regimes were financed and the hidden financial forces that played a critical role in their success. Footnote. This section introduces the critical question of who financed large historical empires and highlights the absence of such information in mainstream history. The rise of Hitler and Nazi Germany's funding. After Germany's economic collapse post-World War I, the nation was left in dire conditions, with people starving on the streets and a broken economy. Amid this devastation, Adolf Hitler emerged as a powerful leader promising change and restoration. Within just a few years of coming to power in the late 1920s, Hitler rebuilt Germany's military and industrial complex, transforming it into the most formidable military force the world had ever seen. However, the key question remains: where did the funding for this transformation come from? Historians often point to individuals like Fritz Thyssen, but the scale of the military expansion under Hitler's regime far exceeds what could have been provided by any single financier. The real sources of Nazi funding involved global financial institutions, including prominent American and European corporations. Footnote. This section highlights the mystery behind the financing of Hitler's military buildup and critiques the mainstream historical explanation for his regime's financial backing. Corporate America and Wall Street's role in financing the Nazis. While Fritz Thyssen is often cited as a major financier of Nazi Germany, the true sources of funding for Hitler's regime were far more complex and involved numerous American and European financial institutions. Wall Street, as a conglomerate of powerful banking and corporate interests, played a central role in funding the rise of Nazi Germany. Corporations like General Motors, Ford Motor Company, and the Rockefellers were not only indirectly supporting the Nazi regime but were also complicit in providing the resources necessary for its military expansion. Maxwell suggests that these entities protected their wealth by supporting each other, ensuring their financial interests remained intact even in the midst of global conflict. Footnote. This section explores the hidden financial networks that supported Nazi Germany, challenging the simplified narrative of Hitler's rise to power. The esoteric and mystical aspects of the SS. In addition to their military and financial prowess, the SS, Schutzstaffel, and Nazi ideology were influenced by esoteric and mystical beliefs. Maxwell highlights the role of secret societies, such as the Thule Society, in shaping Nazi ideologies. These groups drew on ancient occult traditions and astrological beliefs, which were woven into the fabric of Nazi policies and rituals. The SS, in particular, had a unique and distinct connection to these mystical beliefs, which went beyond simple political allegiance to Adolf Hitler. The influence of these esoteric ideas can be seen in the SS's ceremonial practices and their obsession with Aryan supremacy, which was rooted in occult ideologies. Footnote. This section links Nazi ideology to esoteric and mystical beliefs, highlighting the spiritual dimension of the SS and its impact on Nazi policies. The role of American and British elites in Nazi ideology. Maxwell draws attention to the involvement of American and British elites in the rise of Nazi ideology, particularly through the financing and support of Nazi policies. He points to influential individuals such as Prescott Bush, who was implicated in trading with the enemy during World War II. These elites, including prominent banks and corporations, not only provided financial support to Hitler's regime but also shared similar eugenics ideologies that were later adopted by the Nazis. Maxwell further suggests that the origins of these ideas were not confined to Germany but were developed in places like Los Angeles, where Hollywood elites and European theorists collaborated to promote eugenics and Nazi-like philosophies. Footnote. This section exposes the connections between American and British elites and Nazi ideology, particularly their shared interest in eugenics and eugenic theories. Conspiracy and the manipulation of power. Maxwell's analysis extends into the realm of conspiracy theories, focusing on how secret societies and powerful families have shaped world events for centuries. The connections between banking elites, political power, and religious institutions are seen as part of a broader conspiracy to control global affairs. The financial backing of Nazi Germany is just one example of how these elites manipulated political movements for their own benefit. Maxwell argues that the real power in the world lies not in the hands of politicians or leaders but with the financial institutions and secret societies that control the flow of money and resources. Footnote. This section discusses the idea of global conspiracies, emphasizing the role of secret societies and financial institutions in shaping world events. The legacy of American influence on global power structures. Maxwell concludes by reflecting on the enduring legacy of American influence in shaping global power structures, particularly in terms of its financial and industrial reach. The corporations and banks that funded Nazi Germany were also deeply embedded in the fabric of American capitalism. This interconnectedness between American and European elites reveals the complex dynamics of power and finance that have driven global events throughout history. Maxwell encourages his audience to question the narratives they have been taught about the world and to explore the hidden forces that have shaped modern society. Footnote. The conclusion highlights the lasting influence of American financial institutions and corporations on global power dynamics, urging a deeper investigation into the true sources of power.